Are you feeling drained after this election inauguration? How to protect our mental health. Off camera, we were just talking about, woo, this has been a lot. If this has been you, you just feel like, how can it be that 1 week can feel like 10 years? 10 years. And I woke up today, I was like, I can't keep going on like this. We got to find another way. So, we're going to talk about some different ways that we can protect our mental health as Black people, okay? So, if you're wondering, I don't know how I'm going to keep going on, I don't know what's going on, particularly for those of you who are really impacted in terms of your employment, with job, cutting this and cutting that, and, not knowing what's happening. I just want to say this from the beginning that all of this chaos and confusion and fear, that is a scare tactic. They are trying to um, get us so overwhelmed and so scared that we do nothing about it. And so for me, I am very clear that I'm going to be resistant to what's happening by still being well. Okay. So by being healthy as I can, that is a form of resistance. And so I'm supporting that with you as well. So that's why we are having this kind of impromptu live that's really community healing for us as Black people. So, if you don't know me already, I'm Dr. Kamani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, a toxic job survivor, but more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator for Black women. So, today I have Marissa Price and Giovanna here, and we're going to be talking about ways to really protect our mental health. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Marissa for her to introduce herself, and I'll go to Giovanna.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Marissa Price. I am a social worker, I'm a healer, I'm a freelance coach, co founder of the Job Liberation Virtual Summit coming up in May, the second annual. But yes, I am struggling, right? I think a lot of us are just seeing everything that is happening within the span of a week. It
Yes.
feels like you said 10 years in one
Woo.
week. And so it's really important to preserve ourselves, to protect our peace at all costs, because there are
Yes.
forces out here literally trying to extract it from
True.
us at every
True.
turn.
True.
And so, yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Marissa. Giovanna.
Hi, I'm Giovanna May Reese, and I'm the founder of the Hiatus Space. And I am an educator with 20 years of experience, but I help people with mindfulness as a certified yoga instructor and breath coach and meditation teacher. And I am currently living in Brunei in Southeast Asia. And so but that doesn't take away
Yeah.
the feeling of darkness that's just infiltrating my life, even over here, looking at all my loved ones, looking at even people I don't know, just all of the turmoil and chaos that's being sown at home. And so I'm really happy to be here to share
Yeah.
some mindfulness tactics to kind of help dissipate, even if for a few minutes, that dark
Yeah.
cloud that a lot of us are living under.
Exactly, exactly. And there's so much uncertainty, right? So I
Hmm.
want to provide a space for us to talk about how we heal, right? How we engage in behaviors that will help us during this time. And I have a whole series I've been doing about fasten your seatbelt, okay? Many of us didn't want to be on this roller coaster, but we're on it, okay? So we need to fasten our seatbelt so that we don't get thrown off or whatever, okay? So, ladies, let's talk about with everything going on, right? So, as Black women, Black people, we already got a whole bunch of stuff going on anyway. But with this added on to everything else we're dealing with, how can we as Black people protect our peace?
Mhm. I'll say for me, one of the first things is turning off notifications. So this is like a step I took to really prioritize my mental health.
Yeah.
And I think with social media, right, it thrives on negativity. It
Yes, it
thrives on
does.
outrage, right? And
Yep.
so the less of that you can give, right, you are resisting. You're resisting your own oppression, essentially, the
Yeah.
way that these algorithms and things function. So setting boundaries with social media is going to be important, especially going forward with the next 4 years,
Oh,
maybe. I don't even want to say that, but a while to go.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, saying no without apology. I've
Yeah.
seen like a lot of Black women creators on YouTube, like really going down the road of like, I have to preserve myself. And so that's going to mean saying no, right? A lot of us are recovering people pleasers.
Yeah.
And so just getting in the practice of protecting yourself, preserving your peace, and saying no to things that are not aligned is really going to be essential in these days, months, and years to come.
Yes. Boundaries and turn off the notifications and be
Mm-hmm.
mindful of what we're ingesting. Because when you
Yes.
watch certain things like on media, social media, it can make your anxiety go through the roof. So if you
Yes.
already know you see something, you're like, like you have a reaction to it, maybe don't watch it. Okay. I've been very selective in what I'm watching right now because I'm like, I can't deal with all it's like this barrage of just drama
Mm-hmm.
coming on all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So being
Mm-hmm.
selective in terms of what we take in is very important, and we can control that to a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
the other day I was trying to find something on YouTube to look at, and why did almost everything have to do with this dude? And I was like, no, I
Mm.
don't want to see his face. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't, right? I'm not in
Mm-hmm.
a space to hear that. So how do we find those spaces to still be informed, but not get so consumed with the negativity that we get wrapped up in the anxiety? What about for you, Giovanna? What would you say Black people can do right now to protect our peace?
Yeah, and I would piggyback on what Marissa said. For me personally, I've taken maybe an extreme step and I've taken Instagram and Facebook off of my phone. Um,
Okay.
it's on my phone, but the
Okay.
icon is not there.
That's
So I don't
smart.
even I don't even see the icon. So I have to
Okay.
literally search for Instagram on my phone to open it. And so that way that habit that we have of checking
Yeah.
things and
Yeah.
being in the know, it's just not there.
Yeah.
In terms of keeping up with the news, I have just signed up for summaries. So, like
Okay.
from newspapers, a lot of them have where you can have a daily summary of what's happened emailed to you. So that way, I'm
Really?
not in the news. Yeah, I'm not in the news getting sucked into all of the little stories about all the horrible things and what that man is doing. Now I just get a concise summary of here are the
Yeah.
highlights so that I'm informed and so I'm not getting sucked in.
How do you get the
The
summary? How do you do that?
Well, I know the New York Times has one. Most of the major newspapers have, if you go to their website, they have where
Okay.
you can sign up for a daily summary.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of them also have like a podcast daily summary where you can just get the highlights of what's happening that day.
Ah, that's awesome. Okay. Good
Yeah,
resource.
yes.
Good
Yeah,
resource. Good resource.
and the other thing that I would say is that we also have to be in touch with how we're feeling
Yeah.
about everything that's happening. And
Yes.
so for me,
Yes.
another thing that I would suggest is just pausing and really taking note of how you feel, because a lot of
Yeah.
times we live in such a way we're going to get stuff done, we're going to push through, we're going to a lot of us are still trying to take that cape off and stop being
Yes.
strong all the time, and so a lot of us are disconnected from the feelings that we have, and so
Yeah.
we need to take a beat and just connect with that and then write it down somewhere. I'm a big fan
Yeah.
of journaling, and so journaling is going to allow you to get out of here
Right.
and get it down on the page and then process it that way. So that's what I
Um,
would say.
That's good. That was the next question I was going to ask is
Mhm.
allowing ourselves as Black people to feel the feel. So we've often been told we keep moving, we don't let nothing bother us, we got this, all that stuff, right? And we may need to present that to other people, external situations where it's not safe for us to show our feelings,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
also allowing ourselves and giving ourselves permission to feel what we feel and not trying to outtalk ourselves about that. Like, we shouldn't feel that way. Can we comment or can we talk a little bit about that? About how we can give ourselves permission to acknowledge how we're feeling right now without getting stuck there. And I think that's another thing that I hear a lot of Black people say, particularly in therapy, is I don't want to go there because if I start allowing myself to feel what I'm feeling about it, I'm gonna get stuck there and I won't be able to get out
Mhm.
of the situation.
Yeah, if I open the
Mhm.
floodgates.
Yes, I will open the floodgates, and it's gonna be too overwhelming. And I just gotta handle my business. I can't deal with that. So can we talk about why it's important for us as Black people to give ourselves permission to feel what we're feeling?
Certainly, because we're whole people. We're not robots. Um, we have feelings and we're allowed to have feelings and we need to process those feelings. And I know all three of us have talked about this on our platforms, but the body keeps the score. And
Yes.
so, for our own health and self preservation, we need to feel those feelings, or else it's going to show up somewhere else. It's going to show up in high blood pressure, it's going to show up in unexplainable aches,
Yeah.
or, who knows.
Emotional
And
eating. Emotional eating
mhm,
too. Uh-huh.
definitely. And so I would say, to start to feel those feelings, I understand you have to feel safe. And so
Yeah.
you need to find a physical space where you feel comfortable. And that can be in your bedroom,
Right.
making a comfortable, almost a ritual. Space, light some candles, turn the lights down, and just sit with yourself. Set a timer. If you're afraid that the floodgates are going to open and you'll start crying, which is okay, but you think you'll never stop crying, you'll just cry
Right.
forever, like set a timer and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to sit with my feelings for just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe when that 5 minutes comes, you pull yourself back, and that's enough for you for right now. Or maybe you feel like, I can sit with this, I need to sit with it a little bit longer. But just allow yourself those small bits of time to be with yourself and to feel those feelings and to feel them without judgment. Your
Right.
feelings, are whatever they are okay. It's okay if
Yeah.
you cry, it's okay if you don't know what to do, just feel the feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. So can we talk a little bit about what are some of the ways that you two have been engaging in preserving your mental health in this week that's felt like 10 years? Okay. What are some of the ways so you said you have been turn off notifications, you have, been mindful of what social media you ingest, you look at summaries of the news. What other things have you been doing? Please share. What else have you been doing to protect your mental health during this time?
Yeah, so I've been listening to a lot of music. So music is always like the anchor for me
Yeah.
when like the world outside just feels like complete chaos. Having I think like art to really anchor you in the things that are still possible, right, in your imagination, because a lot of these like the chaos that we see, it tries to like distract us
Yes, it does.
from bringing into being like a better
Yeah.
future, right? By just telling us that this is the only way, that
Yeah.
other people are in control of our destinies. So, like, the more that you can tap into the power of art, right? Creativity,
Yeah.
drawing, reading, painting, right? These are really healing activities that kind of like anchor you in
Yeah.
yourself when everything else feels chaotic. And also like revisiting past scholars. So throughout, like I've been revisiting, like yeah, in the Jim Crow era, right? So
Mm.
being a Black Studies major, like going back and seeing the lessons that our ancestors have already learned and provided us with a roadmap on how to navigate, right, uncertainty like this, because the uncertainty is not new
Right.
in the context of the U.S. history, right? But a lot of the things we're seeing, we can't really be prepared for 100%, but we can look back to see what they went through, lessons
Yeah.
they learned, and that can
Yeah.
be a source of okay, there's a way to get through. Yeah,
True. True. So learning from our history,
yeah,
learning from the arts, learning from music and movement can just be so helpful with
Mhm.
like processing that toxicity that we're ingesting from just being in the environment. So even if you're not really watching the news or social media, we're in a state of like high anxiety right now. So you could feel the anxiety all around us, but when you just sit with it, it just feels very overwhelming. So how do we kind of metabolize all that stuff that we're going through? What about for you, Giovanna? What have you been doing in addition to the news summaries?
Yeah, what I've been doing is I have been doing less, because my typical in the past, and I know a lot of women do this, you get busy. you
Yes.
distract yourself. And
Yes.
so I have been intentionally doing fewer things. I've not
Yeah.
been even posting as much on social media, because I have been, on my mat. I've been doing more yoga. I have been
Good.
meditating. I have been reading and watching films, just being with my husband and son. I
Yeah.
even broke out an old yoga anatomy coloring book. I've been coloring.
Okay.
So I've just been doing fewer things to stay busy and just really taking time to, feel movement, to sit in my backyard, to enjoy nature,
Yeah.
and to find moments of joy, and to just
Yes.
hang on to moments of joy so that I don't feel so down looking at everything that's happening.
So important, so important. And I know that for me, yoga has been very helpful too. Like I've been practicing it every day. And I went to one of my yoga classes and I really appreciate what the teacher said. He said, first of all, let us not stay focused on shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Yeah, some things could have happened differently with the lecture stuff, but let's not stay there. We can learn from those things, but we can't
Hmm.
stay there. The other thing was, he said the waves are going to continue to come, right? So we all see the waves every day, but we have to learn how to swim, right? So don't just like get stuck in the wave. The wave is still going to be there, but how do you swim through it? And so let's focus on how we help other Black people swim through this wave. Okay, so that leads us, Giovanna, to some breath work, right? So I was like, Giovanna, can you lead us through some breath work? We can connect to our breath,
Yeah.
and I want to really emphasize to people watching this that breath work is healing for us. And we have to stay grounded in the healing and not the chaos and confusion. Okay. That's a tactic. So as you watch this video, and the hope is that you actually do the breath work with us. Okay. So
Mhm.
Giovanna is going to lead us through a breath work activity. And you can go back and look at this video over and over again and practice breath work. Okay. So I'm turning over to you, Giovanna, for the breath work.
Yeah, and I really love that analogy that you just used about the waves coming and you have to learn to swim through them. And I read something recently about swimming and how to survive like rip tides. And the advice is not to try to swim directly back to where you want to go, to
Oh,
swim at an angle. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Like we're not going right at the chaos that is threatening to pull us under, the waves that are
yes.
going to pull us under. We are taking our own angle. And one of those angles can be turning off social media. One of those angles
Yes.
can be yoga. And one of those
Yes.
angles can be breath work. And so the breathwork activity, the breathwork exercise that I'd like to share with everyone is a very simple one that you can do silently. No one has to know that you're practicing breath work. It's okay if they do, but it's
Mhm.
triangle breathing. And
Oh,
so
okay.
just imagine an upside down triangle. Okay.
Okay.
And what you'll do is you will inhale for a count of four going up one side of that triangle. And then you'll hold that breath for a count of four going this way. And then you'll exhale for a count of four going back down to complete the triangle.
Okay.
And so we'll do that a number of times. And having the triangle to focus on and that visual is something that helps you stay present.
Right.
And if you begin practicing breath work, you can extend it beyond a four count. But to start, a four count is enough. And
Okay.
it's enough to get that parasympathetic system engaged so that you can start resting and feeling that you're safe, that everything is okay. Okay. And so I'm
Okay.
going to count us starting now. So
Okay.
let's inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now stop and take in one deep breath in through your nose and then sigh it out through your mouth. Now, that was just a very, very short round of triangle breathing. You can set a timer and do that for 5 minutes. And then notice how you feel after you've done that. You should feel a little less weight on your shoulders. You should feel a little bit more relaxed. But that is something that you can do when you are, I do it sometimes at work.
Oh,
I will take a break and I'll walk outside, find a bench, and I'll just sit down and I'll do a little breath work and then go back up to my office. It's just a little handy thing to have in your back pocket in those
yeah,
times where you're feeling angry or anxious, or just at the end of the day when you have all of this crazy energy
yeah.
and things on your mind and you just want to take it down a notch.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, first of all, thank you so much because I feel more relaxed. I absolutely do. And even thinking about like what's going on, like each time we get a news alert or something about another executive order or something, we could just take a moment, unplug, and do that. And it's free. One of my favorite words,
Yeah.
free. It's free and it's accessible to all of us.
Hmm.
All of
Mhm.
us. Okay. Okay. So again, this is something I wanted to talk to us about community healing. I didn't want us to have a space where we just keep talking about over and over and over again what's happening because we all know what's happening. Okay.
Mhm.
We all are, well, not all, a lot of us, particularly 92% of us, are experiencing a lot of exhaustion and all this stuff. Okay. So I didn't want to stay focused on that. I wanted to talk about the healing. Okay. Yes, I see your comment. Those executive orders be wild. Yes, they are. Yes, they
Mhm.
are. And don't let them like jerk us all around because they're crazy. It's a whole bunch of craziness. Okay. So we have to focus on the here and now, stay informed, but don't become overly consumed with all the stuff going on. Listen to this video over and over and over and over again. Okay. If you need some help with, I am beat down about everything going on in the world, look at this video again for support so that you see a way through. Okay. I see comments in the chat. Hello, everyone, for joining. Yes, art is very therapeutic. Vibration from walking in the grass is healing. Ooh, that sounds
Hmm.
really good. I like
Hmm.
that. Yes, Shavana, I just learned this as well. You swim parallel to the riptide or you just float to preserve your
Yeah.
energy. Yes. Oh, hey, Alicia. Alicia's here. Hey, sis. Thank you so much for joining. So, again, it's a short and sweet video because I know we got a lot going on. Everybody got a lot going on. But I want us to stay focused on we are riding the waves. We are not going to swim into the riptide. Okay. We are going to learn how to swim. The waves are there, but we have to learn how to swim. We have to make sure we are taking good care of ourselves so that we are protecting and preserving our physical, our mental, and our spiritual health. Okay, we have to remember
Hmm.
this. I'm going to come on with more videos talking about ways that we can support ourselves and each other during this time. Okay, so again, thank you everyone for tuning in today for this short and sweet live. Okay, I want to thank Marissa and Giovanna for coming on and talking about some healing tips. And everyone, again, please share this information with other Black people because we are all dealing with this, but we will persevere. Just like our
Hmm.
ancestors have, we will persevere
Mhm.
and we will rise higher. But we also have to realize that this is something else, okay? So again, thank you everyone for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. In addition to sharing this video, subscribe to my channel, Marissa's channel, Giovanna's channel, and I will see you guys later. Okay, everyone, take care. Bye bye.